We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Congress takes steps to avoid a shutdown, the first commercial moon launch takes off, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. House and Senate leaders announced a tentative spending deal Sunday in a step towards averting a government shutdown later this month. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer settled on funding levels that included $886 billion for defense spending and $773 billion in non-defense spending, for a total of about $1.66 trillion for fiscal year 2024. Congress still must approve funding bills or a stopgap resolution ahead of January 19th and February 2nd funding deadlines to prevent a shutdown. Johnson said Republicans won concessions like IRS funding cuts, while Schumer said Democrats protected health care and nutrition assistance. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin faced intensifying criticism over the weekend for failing to notify the White House for days that he had been hospitalized for complications from recent elective surgery. Congressional leaders from both parties demanded clarification on unanswered questions, including details about the surgery and complications and Austin's current health status. House Armed Service Committee Chair Mike Rogers and Ranking Member Adam Smith said they were concerned with how the disclosure of the Secretary's condition was handled and wanted details as soon as possible, adding, "Transparency is vitally important." Austin said Saturday he could have done a better job ensuring the public was appropriately informed. Groundings of Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets spread from the United States to Panama and Turkey over the weekend as regulators rushed to inspect the planes after a piece of an Alaska Airlines jet blew out in mid-flight, forcing the pilots to make an emergency landing. The groundings marked the biggest setback for Boeing's most popular aircraft since the entire fleet of MAX jetliners was taken out of service in 2019 after two deadly crashes. Federal investigators prioritized the search for the Alaska Airlines plane's missing plug door for clues about what caused it to fall off. The piece was found in the backyard of a home in the Portland, Oregon area, officials announced on Sunday. The Peregrine lunar lander, developed by Astrobotic, headed for the moon early Monday atop a Vulcan rocket made by Lockheed Martin-Boeing joint venture, the United Launch Alliance. The rocket launched from Cape Canaveral on a mission aiming for a February 23rd soft landing on the moon, America's first lunar landing in more than 50 years and the first ever commercial mission to the moon. The Peregrine lander, launched under the Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program, is carrying 5 NASA instruments. It will also deliver non-scientific items, including payloads for Elysium Space and Celestis, companies that offer space burials of cremated remains. Saudi Aramco on Sunday said it would cut crude prices to all regions, including its largest market in Asia, a move that comes amid weaker global oil prices and increased production by producers outside of OPEC. After a summer rally attributed in large part to Saudi Arabia's decision to implement a production cut of 1 million barrels a day on top of existing cuts by other members of OPEC and its allies, including Russia, crude set back sharply in the fourth quarter. Saudi Arabia and OPEC Plus have extended cuts into 2023. Economic analysts are saying there is going to be a soft patch Whether or not the economy falls into an actual recession, meaning 2 straight quarters of negative growth, is more uncertain and perhaps beside the point. The bottom line is 2024 is likely to be a lousy year for U.S. households. Politically, it will feel like a recession, whether there is one or isn't, said Glenn Hubbard, former top economist for President George W. Bush. Even if there is a recession, it won't be anything that is other than mild, Hubbard said. Janice Eberly, a former economist at the U.S. Treasury Department in the Obama administration and now an economics professor at the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University, agreed there would be a slowdown, but saw a good chance we avoid a recession. That's the raw naked truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.